So that is the Under the Light short, which came up as a part of that observation. But the original goal was that people like me would get to see themselves on screen portrayed in a way that depicted them as people first. But what came next, I couldn't have foreseen, which was the response, the worldwide response. Fan art, international fan art, almost every day. There were songs. I got sent videos of people standing up in front of their whole school talking about their seizures for the very first time. People doing their college projects and even like PhD thesis using this as reference material. And what really stunned me about this was that a lot of these people didn't have seizures, but they wanted to talk about it, which never would have happened. And so I learned a lot about my personal worth as a human being. My story has been forever a laundry list of the things that have impacted my life irreparably because of my diagnosis. And in school, we get taught this very vague idea of success. The goal is success. You're to chase success. Get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job, and you'll be successful. And it's never explained, especially to kids, what does this even mean? What does this even mean? What we're definitely not taught in school is the subject of fulfillment. And to me, that's the meaning of life. And it's crazy to me, but I truly believe that the meaning of life can be taught. The meaning of life is, does it matter that you get out of bed in the morning? Not do you want to get out of bed in the morning. Does it matter that you get out of bed in the morning? And for me, that comes down to these 3 points. A sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, i.e., are you a part of something bigger than yourselves, as you all are in being here? And what is your story? Is it of all the things that have happened? Or is it the things that have happened and how that relates to where you're going? And so what I realized in the making of this was that my voice mattered. I had no interest. People asked me for years, why don't you make a movie about your epilepsy? And I said, no, I don't want to spend another second. I don't want, especially take my hobby and the thing I enjoy the most, my sense of expression, and use it to talk about the thing I like the least about myself. But the fact is there's a quote I like, that which is most vulnerable is most general. People don't have to be able to step into my shoes, but they can understand what it's like to be someone like me because the feelings we feel are universal. And so in doing so, I got to be a part of something bigger than myself. I got to feel a sense of purpose, that even if I was tired or I was beat down, it mattered that I got out of bed in the morning. I felt a sense of belonging because I get to be in rooms like this one. And I felt that it mattered what I had gone through because maybe by telling my story, it would make it a little bit easier for someone else to tell theirs. The coolest thing about all of this is that now it has led to, we've created the full-length Under the Lights movie, destined for streaming services and millions of eyes around the world. It stars huge movie stars, Nick Offerman, Mark Duplass, Randall Park, Lake Bell, whose daughter famously has seizures. And the goal is that now so many people will feel comfortable telling their stories. And ideally, kids don't go to camp anymore feeling like it was the only time that they felt understood. This was a collaboration between myself, UCB, the Epilepsy Foundation of Northern California, and a lot of other really very passionate groups of people. I have this fantasy. It's a fantasy. But one day, I'd like to wake up and get out of bed and ask myself the question, if I could go back in time and not be diagnosed, and have all those things back that I wanted, that I saw other people take for granted, would I do it? And one day, I'd like to say no. I'm not there yet. I want to drive a car, you know? There's a lot of things I want. But when I get to, as a result of telling my story, be in rooms like this one and hear other people's stories and share my own and feel like it matters that I went through this, that I have something to offer because I went through this and continue to go through this, I get closer every day to that moment where I say no. So, as you've just heard already, I really, really hope, and I already witness you all sharing your stories with each other and using, your story to ideally make it easier for the person next to you, who probably has a very, very different experience, but has felt those feelings and feels heard. We all pursue those 3 tenets that I talked about. So it really matters that you're here, and you've made it feel that it matters that I'm here. So thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope that we have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day together. So thank you.